Please, James, take back your key. By MiriamMT. James lives in a flat across the hall from Sirius and Remus. Peter has a flat under him. They've been best friends since their first week at Hogwarts, and they always will be. Because of this, they all have keys to each other's flats. That used to be a great idea, soon turned to be a problem. Living together for 7 years has made some people read Sirius Black unable to understand the concept of personal space and privacy. This is common for Sirius to It is common for Sirius to randomly stand in his friend's kitchen because he ran out of milk or simply wanted company. On January morning, Sirius trots into James's flat, a tired Remus in tow. "Morning, Bronx. We ran out of coffee. Fancy having breakfast with us? We woke up Pete already, too." James, standing in the kitchen, startles and spills hot tea from his cup all over his hand. "Fuck!" he hisses and turns to the cold water to cool his hand. "What the fuck, Sirius? Can't you knock for once in your life?" "Sorry." Sirius throws himself on the couch and grins at him. Then he stops and regards him in detail. James, almost naked, only wearing pants and glasses. A steaming cup of tea stands on the counter, milk and sugar beside it. A second cup. Sirius gasps theoretically and jumps up from the couch. My, James, have someone over? A midnight adventure? What? No. Peter appears at the door, running a hand through his straw blonde hair, yawning. "Morning. I heard you cooking, Bronx." He shuffles into the kitchen, hands a package of bacon over. "Oh, did you?" James glares at Sirius. "Oi, Pete, have you heard something last night? Did our dear James jump on his bed?" Sirius winks. Remus goes to the kitchen and starts making coffee. "Jump on the bed?" Peter drops himself on the couch. He contemplates this, then understands, and his eyes widen. "You mean..." Peter looks at James, who stares at him intently. "No, heard nothing." Sirius frowns. "So, why are you making breakfast for two?" "I'm not. I just wanted tea." "Sure." Then dashes for the bedroom door. "Sirius, stop!" James calls after him. Sirius opens the door. The bed is a mess and clothes are lying on the floor. But the bedroom is empty, apart from a small black fur ball. A cat slips out of the bedroom and runs into the kitchen. Sirius snatches a t-shirt, then follows the cat into the kitchen. He tosses the shirt to James. "A cat? Since when do you have a cat, Bronx?" "Yeah, he's new, and he doesn't like people, so..." The cat sits on the counter and seems to outright glare at James while he is putting on his shirt. "Cute," Remus says, and reaches his hand out for the cat to pet him. The cat lazily slaps his hand away with a paw. "What's his name?" James stares at the cat. "His name is Whiskers." The cat hisses at him. James takes a step back. "His name is not Whiskers." Well, I didn't get to name him yet." "He's got a temper." "I can see that," Remus says, and finally manages to pet the cat. He lets him, begrudgingly. "You could call him Stinky," Sirius grins. "He'll love that." "No, I don't think so." Remus prepares cups of coffee. He has markings on his hip, looks like scars. Sirius leans over the table to see. "Yeah, looks a bit like the constellation Leo." "Sure, Mr. Funked Astronomy." James rolls his eyes. "I know, because my brother is named after a star in that constellation. Regulus is the heart of a Leo. Always looked more like a foot to me, but no one's asking me about those things. For a good reason, Remus says, and hands him his coffee. Well, call him Leo, Peter says. Or Regulus, that would be funny. Mooney, do I get some of that coffee too? Bronx, get some breakfast going, yeah? I'm in the mood for eggs, Remus says, and brings the coffee over to Peter. And bacon. And do you have toast? Peter asks. James sighs deeply and gets breakfast going. Leo mews unhappily. Oh, are you hungry? Sirius reaches his fingers out to the cat. Wouldn't do that, Pats, James warns, while cracking the eggs. Yeah. Ow, Bronx, your cat bit me. Told you, James smacks. The cat jumps up from the counter and moves around James's legs. He drops next to Sirius's feet and then digs his teeth into his foot. He didn't stop to put on shoes before coming over. Sirius hisses and steps back. Fuck, you little shit. Bronx, you need to train your cat better. James looks down at the cat, who looks up at him with all the innocence of a kitten. Nah, I don't. He's quite agreeable if you treat him right. The cat promptly gets up and bites James's foot. James merely smirks and carefully pushes him away. The cat, looking quite displeased, goes to the two men on the couch settled on top of the backrest next to Remus's shoulder. Remus absentmindedly stretches out a hand to pat him while talking to Peter. The cat idly slaps his hand away. Aren't you a mean one? Remus coos and picks up the cat. He protests loudly. Remus doesn't care. Mooney, he will slice your face open, James warns him. Been there, done that. What's one more scar? Remus says lazily and holds up the cat against his chest, scratching the side of his face, then under his chin, ignoring his attempts to duck away. Peter reaches over and pets the cat's paw, like petting a rabbit's food for luck. Sirius joins them on the couch. The cat starts pushing his paws against Remus's chest, trying to escape. James, do you have any treats for him? Maybe he'll like me. Maybe he'll let me pet him if I get him some treats. No treats. Can you leave him alone? Sirius, we should get a pet too, Remus says and lets the cat go. He escapes as quickly as he can, dashes over to the coffee table, and heads back to the kitchen to bite James's feet again. But no cat, Sirius says. A dog. But darling, we already have a dog. He grunts and now scratches the top of his boyfriend's head like a dog. Sirius, in turn, acts like he tries to bite his hand. Hey, bad dog. Sirius flips him off, to which Remus only laughs and kisses his cheek. Over an hour later, James finally gets the three men out of his flat. He closes his door and leans against it with a sigh. Well, that was close. James turns around. Regulus Black lies on his couch, naked. He reaches for a piece of toast on the table. Sorry, love. I'll make it up to you. You better. I'm still waiting for the tea you promised me. When did I become a servant in my own flat, huh? James joins him on the couch and kisses him. Your own fault for giving them the keys to your flat. And your own flat is falling for all my tricks. Tricks, huh? Yes. Do you think we got together because of coincidence? I thought it was because of my charm and my relentless courting. He kisses his cheek, then his neck. Regulus smiles and finishes his piece of toast. Okay, I give you half the credit for it. James grins. Sure, kitten. Regulus promptly throws James off the couch. No, don't you fucking dare saying something like that ever again. James looks up at him and laughs brightly. Stop laughing. You're an idiot. James shrugs and smiles delightedly. He gets back up and pulls Regulus up by his hands. I may be an idiot, love, But you're the one who fell for the idiot, so what does that make you? Regulus smiles up at him, wrapping his arms around his neck. A very smart man. He kisses him deeply. James' friends intruding in his flat and ending up cuddling with the cat becomes a regular occurrence. He isn't there all the time. James says Leo comes and goes as he pleases, probably has 1,000 food sources over the building. Leo favors Remus out of the three. He barely protests when Remus snatches him up off the ground or the couch and cuddles him. Mostly, he escapes them through plants himself on James, where he happily falls asleep on his lap until his friends leave. It is early March now. James wakes up cuddled up against Regulus, human Regulus, his favorite mode of waking up when it is winter and the cat lies on his chest, warm and heavy. It is nice for a few minutes, but getting the cat off his chest is even harder and more dangerous than peeling himself away from Regulus. This morning, he doesn't have to do either. It is Sunday. He has the day off, and Regulus's mother believes he is in Cardiff until tonight. The morning belongs to him. He kisses Regulus's neck, slowly, waking up. It is Regulus's favorite mode of waking up too. When does your mother expect you back? James whispers. Not before 7 this evening. We have the entire day. How long will I have to go without you then? I will manage making up an excuse to stay out a few hours for the evening this week, probably. If you want me to stay a few nights again, might take a while. She's getting suspicions. She had someone follow me on Thursday, making sure I took the boat key to Cardiff, as I'd said. James sighs. I wish you could always stay here. Live with me. Regulus turns in his arms. That sounds lovely. She'd disinherit me in a heartbeat if she'd done as she's done with my brother. And you'd have to do work for your money like the rest of us. The horror. The rest of us. You are richer than my family. You're not affording this flat with work either. You know I'm sneaking as much money to Sirius as I can. I'd make both of us poor. Can she even still do that? You're the only male heir. She'd gladly give all the money to Bella and Sissy. I've thought about this, about a way to secure money, but it's highly illegal, and I guess betting on R doesn't entitle me to do illegal things, does it? I'm not an R quite yet, James reminds him, and you and I are both illegal animagi, and I haven't ratted you out about that, because you profit from it. I ask you again, please take the key back from Sirius. James grins. As if you don't enjoy getting cuddled by Remus, almost making me jealous. You're an idiot. You're spoiled. My friends intruding turned you into a spoiled, princely cat. Cats used to be treated as saints. I'm just trying to resonate the order of things. Of course, James chuckles. Well, I'll treat you like one the entire day. Sounds good? Regulus hums. Sound good. Sounds perfect. He kisses him again, and then suddenly, James, are you home? And the front door is thrown shut. Regulus and James drive apart. Regulus takes a moment to glare at James before shifting into a black cat. Only a second later, the door is thrown open and Sirius stands in the bedroom. Sirius, what the fuck? James exclaims. What? I called. Didn't you hear? Has Has it ever occurred to you that I might be busy? Sirius's eyes widen. Oh shit, I didn't come mid-wank, did I? Again, did I? Sorry. No, you didn't. But it isn't impossible that you will stumble on me being here with someone one day. At this point, I think I wouldn't I wouldn't dare bring a date back here with me because they'd be scared away in the morning by you barging in on us. Sirius raises his hands. Alright, sorry, but you're free right now, aren't you? Oh, look at that. Leo's back. Hey, Leo. Sirius promptly jumps on the bed, startling the cat. Leo hisses at him and reaches his paws out toward Sirius, claws out. He still doesn't like me, Sirius pouts. I wonder why, James mumbles. What do you want? Right. Mooney is busy all day and banned me from the flat because he has to concentrate and I'm distracting and hypersexual, whatever that's supposed to mean. He draws a little quotation marks out in the air when quoting his boyfriend. Anyway, I thought we could take Pete and do a boys' day. Get lunch together, hit Muggle Theater. I'm in the mood for musical. You're always in the mood for musical. James picks up Leo and places him on the lap, patting him. Sirius shrugs. Come on, Prongs. I feel like it's been ages since we did something together. You're only hanging around in your flat with your cat. I'm inclined to believe you have a secret lover at this point. A secret lover you're hiding. But I've shared a dorm with you. If you had fucked anyone out there, your downstairs neighbor would have noticed. I'm sure, Pete said. No squeaks, no moans, no nothing. James pinches the bridge of his nose. You know, when people say we are weirdly close, I think this is what they mean. Pfft, what's weird about knowing what my best friend sounds like shagging? You know what it sounds like when Mooney and I... Yes, unfortunately. Hey, I bet we sound sexy as fuck. Not at 3 a.m. in a tiny dorm, you don't. I bet we do, though. I should ask Mooney if he'll let me record next time we shag so I can judge for myself. Sorry. Bet they... Yes, that would be what the world needs. Sirius and James Sirius and Remus porn. Bet they'd be great for the market, you know. Now, get up, get out. Oh, I know. Before the musical, let's hit the park and play fetch. I fetch. Sirius gets up from the bed and moves over James's wardrobe. Sirius, have you considered I might have plans? He sets the cat aside and scrambles out of bed. He pushes Sirius away from the wardrobe before he can find that one drawer that belongs to Regulus. Sirius stops and looks at him. Do you have plans? What plans? Where are you going? James looks back to the bed and the black cat watches their interaction. James sighs. You know what? Sure. Let's take Pete and get lunch. Sweet, get dressed. I wait at Pete's flat for you. As soon as the front door is thrown shut a second time, Regulus turns black. What was that? You wanted to spend the day with me, James? James shrugs. You've heard him. What plans do I have? I'm not allowed to tell him, am I? That's what you asked me. So, lie to him. You promised. I'm tired of lying to my best friend. And so it's as simple as that. Regulus pauses. James watches the words take effect on him. Regulus is always careful with showing emotion. Whatever it is he feels manifest in tense shoulders when he stands up. Not his face. What is that supposed to mean? It means what it means. I don't want to lie anymore. I don't want to I don't want to just see you every other weekend. This time, he blinks several times and forces his lip in a straight line before saying, "Are you breaking up with me?" James sighs and walks up to him, taking his hands. "No, I'm not breaking up with you. It just feels like we're not even together half the time. We'd have far less problems if you just let me tell him. We don't have problems. 5 minutes ago, there were no problems. There were problems. We just ignore them." James turns away and gets dressed. Regulus sits back on the bed while James walks around the bed and bathroom. Finally, he stops in front of Regulus and leans down to kiss him. "You can come with us, you know. They'd be thrilled." Regulus looks away from him and shakes his head. "I want you to stay. I'm sorry, but I'll go have lunch with the boys and try to be back home as soon as possible. We can still spend the afternoon together. Wait for me." He kisses him again and leaves the flat. James keeps the lunch and subsequents the trip to the park as short as possible, which is to say about 3 hours. When he gets back, Regulus is gone. On the kitchen counter, he finds a small note in Regulus's elegant handwriting. "Went home. Won't make it next week." James crumples the note in his hand. He has concerns about his relationship for weeks now. Every time they got interrupted by their friends and Regulus shifted into Leo the cat, every time he had to lie to his best friend's face because Regulus didn't want anyone to know, every time Regulus said no to an actual date because they might be seen, it put tiny cracks into his happiness. Now, the cracks got so vast it could break him just from looking at it. He really thought if he could just talk with him about it and voice his concerns, maybe something would change. Instead, it seems like he broke it. He doesn't see Regulus for the rest of March. His friends notice his mood changing. They notice him being upset. He says he's fine. He hates he cannot tell them what's going on, even now. Every letter he has sent to Grimmel Place, disguised as a business correspondence, stayed unanswered. Remus has dragged him out of his flat several hours ago to distract him from whatever is going on. James isn't sure what Remus thinks has happened, but in contrast to Sirius, he doesn't pry. Remus took him out for lunch, then to a bookshop, more for himself than James, and finally to a jeweler. "What are we doing here?" James whispers when they enter. "I just need to pick something up." Remus shrugs and talks to the jeweler in hushed tones, handing over a slip of paper. The jeweler comes back with a box, opens it, and presents it to Remus. Remus smiles and shows it to James. "What do you think?" In front of him sit 2 rings, white gold, and with a black band in the middle. James blinks at the ring. "You, Mooney, are you proposing to Sirius?" Remus hums, a shy smile on his face. James pulls Remus into a tight hug. "I'm so happy for you. My best mates are getting married. Fantastic." "I haven't even asked him yet," Remus chuckles. After leaving the jeweler, they go back home. "James, you need to promise me something," Remus says before entering. "Is this the moment where you ask me to be your best man? You're going to make me cry. You both know Sirius will claim you. No, whatever it is you're going through, I hope you figure it out. You can talk to us any time, you know that, right?" James blinks and looks away. He can't. That's the entire problem. And And when you did figure it out, you bring that person to the wedding as your plus one, or you dump them, and we make sure to invite someone hot you can hook up with. Do what makes you happy. Promise me. James bites his lip. What if I can't do the thing that would make me happy because they don't want it? If they don't want you to be happy, drop them. You deserve better than that. He doesn't want that. He wants Regulus to come back to him. He wants all the problems to magically dissolve, or he wants to ignore them all again. He is in love with Regulus, a fact that drove itself deeper into his heart with every day he didn't get to see him over the last month. He ruined it. Do you want to talk about it? Now, Remus asked, vaguely holding his hand out away from the building. James shakes his head. You have a very important question to ask. Maybe tomorrow. Remus nods. Okay. Wish me luck. James and Remus go upstairs and to their respective flats. James slumps his shoulder as soon as he gets out of Remus's sight. He closes the door behind him, leans his back against it, closes his eyes, and sighs deeply. He stays like that for a minute or two. When he finally opens his eyes again, he stops. Regulus Black lies on his couch like he owns the place, like he hasn't been gone all a day. He holds a book in his hands, but looks at him. James blinks several times, not quite sure he can trust his eyes. Hi, Regulus says finally. Are you going to stand there forever, or will you say something? James cannot keep his voice from breaking slightly. Where were you? Regulus' face turns soft and apologetic. He sits up, places the book on the coffee table, and opens his arms for James. James cannot help himself. He almost runs to him and hugs him. It's fine. It's fine. He's back. James will just accept his conditions. He cannot quite shake Remus's words from before. Regulus wraps his arms around James. I'm sorry, Regulus whispers, and James might be even more surprised about that than about Regulus suddenly showing up again. Regulus leans back until he can look at James. I fixed it. I needed some time, but I fixed it. Fixed what? James asks, confused. Regulus smiles. I might have done something very illegal. I had a friend of mine drink Polyjuice potion, turn into my mother. Most of the money that I would inherit is in a separate vault now, in my name, and Sirius's. My mother will be furious when she finds out, of course, but I had her want. There's paperwork. It's not necessary foolproof, but it will give us time to come up with something better. Or for me to get to work. You stole your mother's money? It's my money, actually. I should have inherited something after my father died, but she kept it in her vault to bind me to her. Be that as may, I need a new place to live now. Regulus vaguely gestures to the suitcases near the couch. James has been focused on Regulus being here. He hasn't noticed him. And if you still want this, you can tell whoever you want, starting with Sirius if it makes you happy. James blinks again, trying to take it all in. Regulus had listened to the problem and tried to fix it. He came up with a plan, sacrificed his home and future, shifts his boundaries and conditions to make him happy. James cups his cheek and kisses him deeply. If I still want this, love, I've never wanted anything more. Regulus smiles, his gray eyes cast down. Good, he whispers, his fingers snaking around James's hand. I'm in love with you, you know. It breaks my heart to see you unhappy. To make you unhappy. James tilts up his head, so he looks at him again. I love you too, and you make me happy. Very, very happy. As long as you're with me, you could have at least ridden me over the last month or answered one of my letters. That was awful of you. I know, Jegulus says and tightens his fingers around James's hand. I'm sorry for that. I am. I was being petty. I hated that I didn't see it, that you were unhappy. I hated that you forced me to act. I hated how terrified I was of losing you. I hated that you made me feel all of that. I have issues, you know. Oh, I know, James says, but smiles. Never punish me like that again. I didn't mean it as a punishment. After the first week, I just didn't want to speak with you until I fixed it. Never again, James insists. Jegulus nods. I promise. I'm sorry. Can you forgive me so I can stop apologizing? I hate it. James smacks. I don't know. I don't mind watching you beg for forgiveness. I'm inclined to call you kitten again. Jegulus responds with a freezing look. I can still move in with Pandora. Okay, alright. Stop with the threats. I forgive you. James kisses Jegulus again and pushes him down on the couch. He will tell his friends tomorrow. He will ask Jegulus to go to Sirius's wedding together with him. All of it later, tomorrow. He simply wants to be with Jegulus now. Just kiss him and be happy. Of course, while unbuttoning Jegulus' shirt, the door to the flat is forced open by one very loud, excited Sirius Black. James, you won't believe it. Mooney and I... He stops instantly when he realizes what James is doing. James and Jegulus drift apart and stare at the man in the door. Sirius's jaw is about dropped on the floor when he realized just who James was snogging. Jegulus? Sirius screeches, his voice high enough to crack glass. What is going on here? Remus and Peter appear in the door a second later. Remus stares at them in surprise. Peter, on the other hand, sighs in relief. Finally, Peter shakes his head. If I had to keep this secret for another month, I might have gone crazy. Does it mean you're gonna start shagging again? I might have to move then. That's unbearable. You're not supposed to jump on the bed, you know. James, Jegulus, Remus, and Sirius are staring at Peter now. You knew? Sirius exclaims. Peter shrugs. I recognize his voice. Also, James, moaning his name every other night was kind of a hint. Peter, James says, could you turn it down a notch? James really does not need to hear his sex life being discussed, especially if his partner is Sirius's little brother. Sirius now moves into the flat fully and sits down on the armchair of the couch. You're lucky I'm in such a good fucking mood right now. Tell me what's going on here. James looks uncertainly at Jegulus. You want to tell him so badly? Go ahead. I'll make us some tea. He gets up from the couch. For the record, this is me punishing you. I've told you to take that key back. Remus and Peter get in as well and close the door behind them. Jegulus is making tea for them. Well, Jegulus and I are together, James starts. Together, Sirius repeats. Together? Yes. Boyfriends? Yes. Sirius turns his gaze to his brother in the kitchen. Since when are you even gay? Jegulus looks back at him with a frown. Oh, you know, the usual. A few years ago, a gay vampire bit me, and I've been one of them ever since. Ah, right. Should have known. Sirius nods and turns back to James. Since when are you together? Since when are you shagging my little brother behind my back? Right. Those are two different dates. I've shagged them at father's funeral. Regulus says shamelessly, distributing cubes for all of them. Sirius stares at them with wide eyes. Regulus, that's a me move. I'm strangely proud. Oh wait, that was 10 months ago. Regulus simply hums and takes the kettle and brings it over the table. You've been doing this for 10 months and kept it a secret? Why? Take a wild guess. Mother? How is it even possible? We're together all the time, James. How could you hide a whole ass boyfriend from us? Especially that boyfriend being my brother. Sirius points at his little brother settling in next to James. Well, you actually caught him here quite often. He's Leo. The cat? Remus exclaims, and he stares at Regulus. Yes, gotta hand it to you. You give quite good massages. Regulus smirks and takes his cup of tea. Sirius turns to his boyfriend. You cuddled my little brother. I can't believe it. Cuddled him right in front of me. Remus rubs his forehead. Darling, please, don't make the first argument of our engagement. Darling, please, don't make this the first argument of our engagement, Regulus asks, the only one who doesn't know about this yet. Sirius raises his hand. We'll have to do that in a second. He turns to James and Regulus and regards them for a long moment. All right, James asks, confused. This is good. I like it. You do? Regulus asked, even more confused. Yes, let's be real, Reggie. You can't do any better. James, questionable. He's got issues. You both do. Fair. But you did seem quite happy for the last 10 months, except the last weeks. But as long as it makes you happy, you have my blessing. Thank you, James says, smiling, and kisses Regulus' cheek. Does it mean I have to see that? Keep it together. Sirius shakes his head. Then he stands up with an excited grin on his face. Okay, now attention back to me. Attention to me. Regulus rolls his eyes dramatically at his brother. Remus smiles up at him adoringly. Sirius just shows off his left hand, almost jumping up and down. Remus and I are getting married. James and Peter make a good show of being surprised and excited, quickly jumping around with Sirius and Remus. Regulus watches them from the couch, briefly contemplating the choices that made his life end up here. James smiles at him. Regulus decides it was all worth it. Hey, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If there was any interruption, I am very sorry. For one, I am very dyslexic. 2, I have a very bad cough, so I try to keep from doing that. And 3, I have a 2-year-old cat, running around my room while I was recording this, so you can hopefully understand why it gets hard. Anyway, this fic is uploaded on AO3. I did not write it myself. I'll put the link on the bio, as I did with the last video. Yes, well, that's it. Bye.